One of the greatest bank falsehoods is that our bank account expands. The fact is that money grows in number due to interest and doesn't gain value in actual terms. With inflation so high and bank interest far behind bank cash, spending your money in this video will reveal 6 assets. Will reduce wealth loss and aid, create intergenerational wealth. 1. God's money. The major reasons money is deemed valuable is because it is stored for future value. However, governments print more and more funding for shortfalls. Consequently, you never know when that item will become worthless. Thus, financial experts advise investing in something useful. Rare and hard to make is the main reason the affluent have part of their portfolio always exclusive to precious metals. Gold, silver, and platinum. Value always rises with inflation. In the 1950s, 1 ounce of gold cost $400. In 2023, the same ounce costs nearly $2,000. Prime XBT's gold anticipates this to rise to $10,000 by 2032. 10 years from now, your gold investments will be 5 times greater. Gold rises while cash keeps rising like other valuables. Metals beat cash too. In the bank, how to get gold exposure for a portfolio without purchasing actual gold for investment. Gold ETFs are popular. In expensive investment vehicles, return on gold price moves without you or holding physical gold. 2. Industrial commodities and raw materials. Scarcity is one cause. Precious metals. These are useful naturally. This makes them vital. Industrial goods like manufacturing use electronic medical equipment, nuclear reactors, etc. Like cobalt, the industrial importance of nickel and copper is demanded for their inherent qualities. That's hard to imitate materials to draw a much clearer picture since demand for cobalt has soared the most since 2020. Because of its importance in making electric car batteries, prices have increased accordingly. From USD 20,000 per ton in 2012, $40,000 in 2020 to 200% growth in 10 years. Consequentially, being exposed to raw materials may greatly enhance your portfolio during high-demand periods. Not everyone can invest big money buying raw materials, nor can we store or find them. Right buyers invest in mining stocks like Rio Tinto, mining mutual funds. Futures and derivatives choices are fantastic methods to obtain such exposure. 3. Safe haven currencies. In the fiat currency world with no gold-backed currency, geopolitical stability is vital. Consider this while investing. Why the affluent usually keep money in Swiss banking. Switzerland, possessing one of the strongest economies worldwide, promises more global stability in the atmosphere, so the Swiss franc a safe haven asset in times of repeated turbulence and volatility, such as during the 2009 and 2010 Eurozone debt crises, the 2008 global financial crisis. Large amounts of wealth left these countries to Switzerland for asset preservation and currency depreciation. Swiss francs are valued. Alternative to the US dollar for international trading, like during the current Russia-Ukraine conflict. The US sanctioned Russia, Energietrade, Russia traded in Swiss francs. Such circumstances raised the demand for Swiss francs, causing immense gratitude against all alternative currencies. In early 2023, 1 Swiss franc retrieved $1.1274 for CHF holders' fortunes, which suddenly grew. Therefore, superior currencies like the Swiss franc, British pounds, and Chinese yuan are valuable. Not everyone can open a Swiss bank. Forex brokers and ETFs, Forex.com, help smaller investors. Get currency exposure with $100 for sovereign guarantee. This note is legal tender forever for governmental and private debt. Pondered its meaning. Nixon took office in 1971 and eliminated the gold standard dollar. U.S. legislation made it a lawful tender. Valued as a means of trade, we began to ponder adequate compensation for any good or service without cash in the world is backed by gold or another. It is still considered tangible assets to have complete trust, government credit. Simply put, your money is stable. As the supporting government, why sovereign guarantee investment is a precious store. Nation governments are always the last to default. If governments default, all of America will default. No powerful government will allow that. Hence, one of the safest methods of investing in sovereign guarantees is via GSECs or government securities. Unfortunately, only stable government GSAC investment-grade credit ratings are advised to remember 2009 sovereign debt. IMF, Eurogroup, ECB. Greece rescued the corporation from debt. Many times, a government's global strength should always be considered while buying in the G6. U.S. Treasury notes are investable. Notes and bonds for sovereignty assure exposures, They improve returns better than bank deposits. The U.S. supports them. Governments worldwide power economics. Tiny investors purchase treasuries, direct government securities, direct gateway, or secondary market. 5. Value stocks, mutual fund stocks. Treasury investments provide a better return than cash. Low risk means lower offers. Higher returns than stocks and low risk critical investment criteria for higher returns for risk-averse investors. Practically all investors want stocks, and stocks are fantastic for that. Some stocks are riskier than others. Wide stock market division into 2 stock kinds: value stocks and growth stocks. Technology investments are risky because they trade concepts and technology. Have significant failure risk, however. Value new core stocks. Industrial metals dealers are less risky since demand exists. Consequently, cherish the near future. Strong fundamental stocks also provide consistent pricing, appreciate and bring stability to dividends, but researching the fundamentals of every value stock might be time-consuming, burdensome for typical investors. Mutual funds focusing on dividends, like Vanguard High Dividend Yield, Stable Index Fund, Admiral Shares, Dividend History, or ideal and inexpensive investment vehicles, retail investors. 5. Land, real estate. Accountants consider land a very valid, non-depreciable asset because it's rare and in demand. Land has always existed, been an invaluable resource. Investment portfolio hedges to examine some figures based on Bloomberg. Housing prices have quadrupled between 1992 and 2020, notwithstanding the big 2008 housing bubble drop. Having real estate exposure is always useful when the dollar starts losing value, but most small investors only consider entering real estate later in life since they solely consider real estate about their home, while fully paid-up house ownership is beneficial. Worthwhile aim for your 40s share of retail property. All ages should shop. Likewise, defying popular belief, you don't need much money to invest in real estate. REITs, or real estate investments mutual fund-like trusts. Yet one of the most important for real estate prominent U.S. REITs is Ventas Inc. VTR invests in healthcare, real estate and elder housing research facilities like hospitals. Otherwise, borrow to own rental properties. Your rent covers expenses, and mortgage payments also make you money. 6. Old automobiles rare. Handcrafted luxury handbags, limited watches, and even the famous book first editions. This asset type's typical automobile values drop by half the moment you put it on the road. Math works in reverse for, like wine, antique automobiles grow in value over time. Autocar says a 1955 Mercedes 300 SLR Coupe was sold for a staggering €135 million in 2022. Only 2 such automobiles exist, ever manufactured. Thus, they are uncommon collectible vehicles. Connoisseurs Leonardo da Vinci's 2017 most contentious artwork, Salvatore Mundi, cost an incredible $450. Christie's auction nets $1 million Saudi prince gives an explanation why Richard spends a lot. Money on limited edition things? These beautiful items are timeless stores of wealth they can access, insanely expensive if you locate the suitable buyer. For average collectible investors, can feel remote and dreamlike. Whatnot online marketplaces, great ways to sell rare baseball cards, comics, action figures, and more. If you can't acquire everything, and invest partially in collectible ownership on Masterworks and Convey platforms.